talking about different types of glass. And we're going to start with one specific niche of glass. It's called uranium glass, or more familiar in America, it's called Vaseline glass, because originally when they would add the uranium into the glass, it kind of had this creamy yellow color, similar to this, not quite, but similar to this piece, that was very similar to the Vaseline petroleum jelly that was coming out on the market in the late 1800s. Now, we do know that Vaseline glass or uranium glass existed all the way back to the 1700s when they would add uranium natural uranium at that point, to the molten glass to make it have a pretty yellow color. It wasn't until 1835 that Mr. Whitefriars Glass in London was the first manufacturer that really started exploring with the uranium in the glass. And uranium glass had its real heyday from 1880 to about World War II, and at least in America. Because in America, about World War II, the American government came in and they confiscated all of the uranium from the glass makers. They had something going on. Who knows? But anyways, it was about the 1950s that they started making uranium glass again, or it was more commonly called by them Vaseline glass. And at that point they started using depleted uranium, where they were using natural uranium prior to the war. After the war, they were using depleted uranium. Interesting little side note is that in Europe there was next to no uranium to be found and no Vaseline or uranium glass being made, except for on the island of Murano, where they were making some Venetian glass. That's kind of an interesting side note there. And of course, Vaseline glass has different names in different places. In Australia, they call glass that has this opalescent sheen Vaseline glass. And they call the same thing that we would call Vaseline glass, they call it citron. In Britain, they call Vaseline glass that type of glass that kind of has this creamy kind of milky shade to it, like this green stretched glass, or maybe this pink piece of depression glass that has this kind of a creamy color to it. Anyways, that's what they would call Vaseline glass, and they call what we call Vaseline glass is Primrose Pearline, which I guess would be similar to this one that has the pear, and that's because their particular manufacturer line had pearline, and it was what we call Vaseline glass. Anyway, so that's why they call it Vaseline glass. If you're a little bit worried about Vaseline glass, it was in about 2001, the U.S. Nuclear Regulation Commission, they actually did a study on what we call Vaseline glass, and found that people were no more likely to get radiation poisoning from a piece of Vaseline glass than they would get if they were walking outside on a sunny, pretty day. So, let your worries be behind you. Vaseline glass is not going to cause you to have radiation poisoning, for the most part that we know of. I'm not a doctor, not that kind of doctor anyways. So, that being said, the only way that you can really tell if a piece is truly Vaseline glass is to check it out under a UV light or a black light. However, if you're a purist, such as the people who really collect Vaseline glass, they say that only that true yellowish glass that glows green under a black light is Vaseline glass. Now, other glass, about the 1930s, which is where it gets kind of confusing with depression glass, they started including iron oxide to change the color from the yellow glass, which wasn't rarely popular, to green glass, which is kind of similar in color to those old Coke bottles. They added the iron oxide to it to make a different color. And those pieces will also glow. And they would add other chemicals and minerals such as magnesium to glass to make different colors. And sometimes those other pieces of glass might glow as well. So, that being said, I'm going to look at some of these pieces of glasses that are in front of me, and we're going to see, let's think, which ones you think might glow like a piece of true Vaseline glass or uranium glass. We have this lovely piece of carnival glass that looks to me almost like it's glowing, but not quite. Through this pretty green bowl, we have my pearline dish. We have some pink stuff, and we have, of course, all this yellow hobnail stuff. That, well, it's pretty close in color to what Vaseline Glass would be. So, that being said, we're going to check it out. Oh, I do have this blue piece here. I love blue depression glass. I don't have very much of it, but I do like that piece. I have this one piece of clear glass. Alright. For some reason, you have this glass, which sometimes with all the collection gets confusing, but I actually just bought this one at Walmart not that long ago. Let's give it a shot. So, lights out. Black light on. Alright. You can see I do have some very obvious glowing pieces. This is that carnival glass. It is not glowing. Piece of stretch glass. Yes, it's glowing. It has uranium in it, maybe some iron. My clear glass candy dish. Just a little bit of a sheen to it. I have a little creamer with the Art Deco style, and it is glowing most awesomely. My yellow pieces that are very similar in color, not so much. Then, hairline, gotta check this one out. Isn't this awesome? This piece glows just beautifully. It is definitely a piece of what some people call Vaseline glass or uranium glass. Definitely has the uranium in it. It's not quite yellow. It's a very light green. However, I do have a piece of dark green glass, and the dark green stuff doesn't glow at all. Interesting fact. We're going to have to talk about that at a later date. I have a little bit of a glow from this one. Oh, that has a little bit of something in it to help it. And how am I showing you? My Walmart glass. I don't think I will be giving the darling milk in this glass anytime soon. Wally World, you gotta check that one out for me. Anyway, that is my collections. I hope you enjoyed this one, and next time we're going to be talking about some beautiful Art Deco makeup compacts. So until then, have fun. Bye.